Welcome back to That's Life with John Carver. This is episode number 267. And I'm calling this episode The Manipulation by Anger and Fear. Years ago, I can't even remember how many years back it's been, but I started noticing on the national news that their job, in quotes, seemed to be, in many cases, to get people angry and fearful by the news that they shared. Anger and fear, if you don't know, are some of the most powerful emotions that you and I have, anger and fear. In fact, those emotions for many people are addictive. For some reason, people tend to want to go back to emotions and situations and circumstances and words and video and audio where they feel anger or they feel fear. So consider some of these quotes about anger and fear. Criss Jami wrote, "Just because something isn't a lie does not mean that it's not deceptive. A liar knows that he is a liar, but he who speaks mere portions of truth in order to deceive is a craftsman of destruction." Now, think about this in the context of the national news. Edward R. Murrow, which was a news broadcaster decades ago, he said, "A nation of sheep will beget a government of wolves." Think about that. Ward Churchill wrote, "The American people are free to do exactly what they are told." Just pause a second in between these quotes here and think about, just for the last 30 years, if you're old enough, or even 20 years, to go back and look at all the national news stories, how they've gotten millions and millions of people worked up and angry and fearful based on what they think the journalists are telling them that's true, or more importantly, the owners and those who control the national networks are trying to get people to do. So they're manipulating so much of the information. William J. Federer wrote, quote, "The country is controlled by laws. Laws are controlled by politicians. Voters are controlled by public opinion." Listen, public opinion is controlled by the media, news, Hollywood, internet, and education. So whoever controls media and education controls the country. Just stop and think about these words for just a minute. Calvin Coolidge, President Calvin Coolidge, way back a long time ago, said, quote, "Unless the people through unified action arise and take charge of their government, they will find that the government can take charge of them, in fact, has taken charge of them. Independence and liberty will be gone, and the general public will defend itself in a condition of servitude to an aggressive or of organized and selfish interest." This is back in like 1920s. So if you stop and think about it today, as you watch this program, the national media, by and large, want you to be angry and fearful, so you'll come back and watch their channels and read their newspapers over and over again. Remember I said moments ago that anger and fear are addictive. People keep coming back for more and more in that. So once I realized that, I started understanding that you and I are manipulated most of the time, much of the time, by the news media. So then I reduced my consumption of the news by more than 95%. And then what happened as a byproduct is my life got a lot more peaceful, a lot more tranquil, because I wasn't allowing the external forces of the news media flooding my eyes, flooding my ears, to get me all discombobulated, as somebody once said, or frustrated or angry or fearful, that I realized that I was allowing that act of watching the news a lot, reading the news a lot, it was causing my internal dialogue to go south, to go negative. So if you want to maybe change your state of mind, turn off the news. Stop being manipulated and watch your life change for the better. My name's John Carver. Thanks for watching.